Hey guys, it's Becky from the TheFreeRotation podcast. I just wanted to give you all a heads up. This episode is our special DreamHack episode, so it's a little different than what we normally do. The first thing you're going to hear today is an interview from an up-and-coming streamer named Behchu. He completely destroyed me during a TFT tournament this past weekend, and we wanted to highlight him and his stream and everything he's doing to reach Challenger. And at the end of that, you'll also hear me and Angie's thoughts from our experiences at the event, some of the things we liked, some of the things we didn't like. So this episode's a little different than what we normally do. And as a forewarning, the sound is a little scuffed. We were recording in a microphone, or a recorder basically, that it has a built-in microphone. So it's a little scuffed. So if you have a little problems hearing it, turn it down. Make sure you're not listening it at full volume because it is a little tinny, but everything in the episode was fantastic. Please check it out. Make sure you check out Behchu. He had a great interview. Thanks for checking us out, but I hope you enjoy it, and we will catch you next week on Tuesday with our newest episode. Thanks.
How's it going, everybody? Thanks for having me, guys.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming. So, as you all know, Becky was going to participate in the TFT tournament. I participated as well, but participation's kind of... I did. I got the participation trophy. I went 5-5-1. What? Everyone's jealous. But Behchu ended up winning, and we wanted to first ask, how did you get the name?
So, Behchu is Korean for cabbage. I am Korean, and I went to school actually in California, and I was, hitting a little bit of cabbage, so, and it just all of a sudden came into my mind, and I was like, you know what, hitting that cabbage, Behchu, let's get it. All right, sounds good.
Yeah, the best ideas come from cabbage. I keep telling you that, Becky.
It's clear. Yeah.
So what happened was we had 3 rounds of 3.
Yes.
I think there were 4 groups. Did I say 3 rounds of 3?
You did. We had 3 rounds of basically qualifying for the finals.
That's what I said,
for those
basically.
of you trying to figure out what Angie just said, yes.
They know me at this point. So after the 3 rounds of 3, Becky came in the top 2 from ours. You placed second, and then she was paired in the final 8 with Behchu.
Yeah.
Who just stomped everyone.
It was a complete annihilation. We were all fine. We were all like, oh, okay, plat 4, gold, blah, blah, blah. Grandmaster, what the hell is happening right now?
I looked over her screen, I was like, what?
So, Behchu, I have to ask, how much TFT do you play?
I'm super no, not at all. I try, that's a lie. I try super hard. I actually did one point hit Challenger, and then I took a vacation for a little bit and came back and realized that the LP cap was raised significantly, like a crazy absurd amount. And so I just like, you know what, Phantom exists, Hextech exists, and those are my 2 least favorite things. And for those of you who aren't familiar with TFT terminology, it's basically RNG, random events that occur that'll essentially make you lose the game. Absolutely hated it, so I said I was just going to stay at Grandmaster, and I was just okay with that. And that's basically, going back, I was digressing a little bit. Back to the original question. I'm actually a full-time streamer now. So I actually play a shit ton of TFT, probably anywhere from 6 to 8 hours, 5 days a week. So.
Well, I'm definitely going to be watching because one of the problems that I have in people who've asked us questions, which if you're asking us for advice, you're really hard up, but it's placement for the different groups and stuff. Could you just give us a quick tutorial?
Yeah. So one of the things that's great about Set 2, so there's been a huge patch that's been released recently with TFT, and it's an increased size and board was just one of the many things that they introduced. And back in Set 1, in the first patch, when it came out, the board was pretty small, and the general positioning that you would do is left corner, right corner, middle. And middle very rarely kind of thing. But now that the board size is much bigger, there's a lot more positioning options that you can do, and depending on your composition, it can greatly alter how you position. I would say there's 3 primary ways that you want to position your comp now. Is have your backline in the backline, all the way in the back row, and your front line in the front line. Kind of pretty standard stuff. Cornering, I guess, is another thing. You want to make sure that you're cornering your units so they don't move out of their corner for assassins, or so they don't get hit by certain CCs, crowd control effects. It's honestly somewhat the same. It's just more so you have to be careful about, since there doesn't seem to be as much assassin players, that like you make sure your carries don't get hit by CC. So make sure you're utilizing your corners for your hard carries.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
No.
You're still learning though.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. We've been playing since at 1, but we don't really get a lot of time to play. So if you were somebody who's learning casually, what is the best way to start learning?
I guess it's just kind of acknowledging and finding out what your mistakes are. I think that's the best way to start to learn, just in general, a period about anything. If you really want to grow and improve as a player, find out where your weaknesses are. And like, it sounds like you guys were kind of struggling with positioning, and now that hopefully maybe a couple tips can help you out, it can help you grow as a player and in life just so much more easily, kind of thing.
I feel like we're getting into an after dark conversation about positioning. Hey, what's happening? So, no, yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, reeling it back in. So, what other games do you play? Do you play any League of Legends? I think I saw you had ranked up in League, right?
I do play League, but I am significantly worse at League. My old age has caught up to me. No, I'm actually just a young 22, but I do have to keep my distance from like really fast-paced games because I actually have carpal tunnel going on for both of my wrists. Yeah, right. Because back in when I was younger, and I played Overwatch a lot, and I almost got signed to like a semi-pro team, got involved with collegiate eSports, and me and my school, we ended up placing fifth to eighth place a couple years back. And won like $12,000 something like that. So it was pretty cool stuff.
That's pretty
Remember
awesome.
that $200 you owed me? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I remember that.
Well, and going back to the games you played, did you play auto chess first before you played TFT, or did you just find an interest because it was League of Legends?
So I did know of the existence of auto chess, and I did have a couple of friends that played, so I tried it out here and there, but didn't really get into it. TFT really was my first exposure to like a real kind of auto chess kind of genre.
I see. And do you play any other games now, or are you strictly TFT?
I'm always down to play other games. So what I usually do is I stream. I leave Sunday open for like I can stream whatever the fuck I want basically. And so sometimes I like play like Apex Legends, something a little more fast-paced. Sometimes I do like a horror game night where I play a horror game. So whatever anybody wants, I'm always down to play. Just whatever is fun for the viewers, I guess.
Okay, so next Sunday we're all gonna go into Behchu's stream, and we're all gonna request. What's that game you just discovered?
I showed you Soma, but
No, not a horror game. The little raise the chicken things.
raise
The little unicorn game. The stupid ass game. The house raising. House flippers. Whatever.
I was like,
That's where you raise pigs and chickens and
Are you
unicorns.
talking Stardew Valley? Because that's what it sounds like.
No, but I'm a crazy Stardew Valley player. Like, she plays for fun, and I'm like, I gotta feed the fucking cows.
Yeah.
What are you doing? We have chores to do.
It really, yeah. We just stopped because she was like, she's like, I need a break from. Well, she didn't need a break from Stardew Valley. I was like, let's get food. She's like, if I don't stop soon, I'm gonna like just.
Why are you making me look like a masturbating? like you saw that, right?
I can confirm.
Yeah.
I can confirm.
Yeah. So, what is your usually streaming hours?
So I have a decent, because like I haven't been full-time streaming very long. I think it's only been like 3 weeks or so. So I'm just getting into the swing of things, and most of my viewers are from friends that I had in college, which is in California. So I stream actually pretty late in the day. After work, everyone's trying to relax, trying to go to bed. 7:30 to 3 a.m. actually is my streaming hours.
Eastern time?
Eastern time, yes. And it doesn't do that great for my sleep schedule, but I get enough sleep, so it's whatever. I'm fine. I'm completely fine with it.
Still young, it's cool.
Yeah.
No, it's very important to get on a good sleep schedule. Be sure you sleep at night. Like, I know I've got to step in here and, admonish you to take care of yourself, because lack of sleep, especially nocturnal sleep, causes depression, and you can get very unhealthy. So make sure you stay hydrated and eat a lot of cabbage. Not smoke it, eat it, Behchu.
Oh, you can do both a little bit here and there. Why not?
I mean, that's true. Yeah.
So let me ask you, so between the first set and the second set, do you feel like it's been a significant progress in TFT with the new set?
I'll be completely honest, I was losing my mind in set 1. Oh my gosh, the amount of times that I was just like, I mean, I'm sure there's some sort of biases involved, like convenience bias from my memory, but oh my gosh, the amount of times I swear I lost a Phantom Hex tick, I was losing it. I made a second account just so I wouldn't lose it as hard, and I wouldn't mind losing.
Right.
But set 2 is a huge step. I think it's a Riot. I thought that Riot was losing their mind at first with set 1, but now I think they're like on track to making TFT like a really, really good game. Reducing all the RNG elements. Shadow is now what Imperial should have been, honestly.
Yeah.
And I think that the direction that they're taking, if they keep going in this direction, is great. I actually remember Mortdog. I remember seeing a clip on Twitch that Mortdog said they're developing set 3 and set 4 already in the works. So I'm really excited to see what's coming up. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what's coming.
So we have TFT, which is pretty much the biggest auto battler, but right now Hearthstone is coming out with Battlegrounds. Do you think you're going to check it out?
See, that's a tough question because I was really into Hearthstone back then, so it was really tempting.
That's why I'm asking.
Right. But honestly, personally, what I'm more interested than the Hearthstone auto battler is actually Legends of Runeterra, the other Riot card game that I am in the beta. So I was thinking about like maybe streaming that here and there until like ranked set 2 comes out and all that. But I'll definitely check out that game, and we'll see if I can get someone decent at it or not.
So I guess the real question is, do you think that it can compete against Teamfight Tactics?
That's a real tough question because that's what I'm asking myself all the time as well. I definitely think it'll pull a good number of the player base, but I'm not sure if it would be, enough to make it like the TFT killer that some people are saying that it's going to be.
Right. So with all of that though, so it's always a stupid question, but everybody has to ask, what is you think is the best set, or not set? What is the best like combination right now for TFT?
So this is the thing that makes set 2 so great and so such a sigh of relief for me and for I know a bunch of other challenger players and like high elo players just in general, is that set 1 it was literally just like, all right, you get Jinx and you build brawlers and you win the game.
Yep.
But now it was just like 1, 2, 3. But now it's like there's so much flexibility involved. I just remember playing in the finals. I pulled out like in the first game of the finals some wacky ass like summoner with some ocean, some shadow here and some mystics here kind of thing. And it's really all about the adaptation and figuring out what everyone else is doing, and there's so much counterplay involved with your build, with positioning. It just it's great. So you did ask about like the best thing that's going on. If I do have to name some of them, some really, really strong compositions, like general compositions, is first of all, if you want to climb, a little secret, Ocean Mage is the way. Ocean Mage won't secure you like a number 1 all the time. It could, but it definitely can get you a top 4. I think almost every guy. I think it's a really good comp, really straightforward comp, because you have 1 cost, 2 cost, 3 cost, 4 cost you can get all along the way. And if you get a Mage hat, drop that bad boy Annie, she's gonna summon 2 Tibbers and it's fucking over. It's a wrap for everybody. It's a wrap. Yep.
Double cast.
Yeah.
Look at it, stop it. This is my nightmare. Tibbers is so OP. His health bar.
Summoners are... summoners are broken. Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
I think that's what I liked when I was watching her play in the finals. And I would ask her, just to go around to people's comp. And every time I saw you, I'm like, what? Is it Inferno Mages and Summoners again? But no, it wasn't. You won with some different stuff, and I really enjoyed watching that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Like I said, a lot of adaptations involved, and like I think a lot of people kind of undermine scouting or don't really do it, and I think that's a big part of this set actually. It's important to scout to see what other people are building.
Yeah, to me it was like looking at I have a hard time looking at scouting in general, and I've got to get better about that. Like it's like looking at the minimap in League of Legends. Like you need to be scouting what's happening with other people.
Okay, here's what she did today.
No, man.
We were playing a game.
It was Aram.
Pantheon dove over our heads. I was playing Teemo. I had the best Teemo game I've ever had. I had like 30-something kills, and I mean, we were gonna win. And Pantheon flew over our heads. Becky was a Lowy. She just kept going the other way. She didn't turn around, and he's at our nexus.
The point being is I need to learn to look at the minimap.
Oh, look at muted. So back to Behchu. This is his interview anyway.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're talking about top comp. So I mentioned Ocean Mage is really good for climbing, easy top 4. If you want like probably the best late game comp is Poison, a variant of Poison Glacial. There's a couple variants of it. Poison Glacial Predator.
So it freezes you in the spot while Poison works.
While Poison goes where, yeah, exactly. I think that what really shines in that comp is how OP Singed is as a 2-star unit. That man is a machine. He will just run over your entire team. He's just walking like a clown, just walking across your entire team, just not giving a fuck. So it's crazy, and then while at the same time he's doing 1 million damage. So
Right.
it's crazy. So that's that comp does struggle in the mid game though until you find like that Singe. Twitch is a pretty okay unit for applying stuff, for applying poison, but you really lack damage until you and like all the utility until you find a Singe for that comp. And my last comp that I'll mention is Summoners. Summoners are very, very strong. I do think 6 Summoner is a little bit overkill. I think there's a couple of weak units that are in Summoner that make it so 3 Summoners enough, and then you should make a variation of like maybe like Inferno, mix it in there. Shadows are also great. And yeah, I think those were, if I had to name top 3 comps to climb with, those would be solid.
Noted.
So if we wanted to check you out, why don't you tell everybody where we can check you out at?
Oh yeah, sure. So my handle is twitch.tv/Behchu, Behchu. And I'll be there. I'll be screaming my head off. I'll be getting tilted with everybody else maybe.
I think you're my spirit animal.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
And I gotta say, it really was eye-opening playing with somebody who was at a higher level than like who we play with, because it was nice to see, like, seeing how you kind of thought, like seeing it, you know, I don't know what your thought process is, but seeing what's going on, I'm like, oh man, okay, he's like next leveling shit that I didn't think of. Because normally I'm just kind of like, I'll do this, I'll stick with it. But then I was like seeing all the shit happening. I was like, what is happening? I don't even know.
Right, because literally from one game to the next, I had her look at you and then go back and look, and you had switched. You had literally changed your comp like midway through, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. I was like, Berserkers? Glacial Berserkers? Where did this come from?
Yeah.
So I really think that if you want to learn how to play Teamfight Tactics, you're a good person to tune in to watch. And we do have a lot of listeners who ask questions, like I said, and
Yeah,
don't
we're a
ask
very
us.
Casual player.
I'm going to be in Behchu's chat watching him and harassing him. I'm going to make fun of you for all sorts of things.
Oh no, I don't want to. So I'm
I
a
will.
very open person to all that sort of thing. You guys can come into my chat and roast me. You can be like, yo, your hair is whack or something like that. Like I don't give a fuck. I'm super chill with everything. And I am a new streamer coming into the scene. Hopefully I can find like a team, an organization when I hit. Hopefully I can hit Challenger again, participate in tournaments. But I am a smaller streamer as of now, so if you guys message, I'll see it. It'll be right there. So come ask me questions, come roast me, do whatever the fuck you want. I'm down. Let's get it.
As talented as you are, I don't think you'll be a small streamer for long, because it was a pleasure watching you.
It was definitely a pleasure, and I really appreciate you coming and talking to us, because even though it was an interview, it's kind of eye-opening for us as like players who just play casually, like things that we need to be looking for to do.
I had to tell you this today. So some of the guys from the tournament were walking around looking for you, seeing if they could find you. And so they found us, and then they were like, I bet Behchu's like at least 30. So we were sitting here like,
Because we are actually 30. We're like, this is really awkward. We do have full-time jobs. Yes, I understand. Yes.
Well, do you have any parting words for us?
If I had to shout out anybody, it'd have to be Taco Bell. My boy's working over at Taco Bell, making sure I'm fed at 3 a.m. in the morning when I do those late night streams.
Hell yeah, Taco Bell. Send us some free food.
Yeah.
DoorDash.
Sponsor us. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Behchu.
Thanks so much for having me.
Hello, and welcome to this episode where we discuss our DreamHack adventures. This is Angie, and I'm joined by Becky,
We are sitting in a car.
and almost rear-ended a Corvette.
We did not almost rear-end a Corvette. That guy almost rear-ended an entire lane of traffic.
That's fine. We're not about his life.
No, we're about trying to get out of traffic in Atlanta because we've been at DreamHack all weekend. Yay!
So, Becky, what were your impressions of DreamHack this year?
I can say I love DreamHack every year, so it's not a big deal. But I can say this year was a little different. And I think the difference was we were in a different part of the convention center than we normally are. It was a little frustrating trying to get your computer here. If you want to tell that story, that was quite the trek.
Okay, so this was different from the other 2 years at DreamHack because we were in Building C, which usually, if you're familiar with Georgia World Congress Center, we're usually in Building A. So it doesn't sound like a big deal, except we were unable to walk through the GWCC. We had to go outside in the rain with computer equipment, down flights of stairs, down an escalator, which didn't have any sort of handicapped entrance or way around it. So we were kind of stuck going down the escalator with the equipment, which is loaded up on a hand cart. Doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is a pretty big deal when it falls. And my keyboard took the biggest tumble. He scuffed.
Well, the problem was it was also raining, and it was not exactly where it's been located in the past, because it was conveniently located to where our hotel was the past years. But this year it was like way out in the middle of
yeah, no matter where you park, you have a good hike, which is fine. Like, that's not the problem. I really feel like it wasn't DreamHack's fault. It was Georgia World Congress Center that caused such a kerfuffle. Or kerfuckle. This was just a pure kerfuckle.
Kerfuckle's a good word. That's exactly what it was. Because once we got there, it was fine. Everything was it was great. It was a great time. The problem being this time was just that we could not get our shit together. And when I say shit, I mean literally all of our shit kept falling away. But I think it was a good time. I still think last year's was better, though.
Becky. Okay, she's like looking to the right and left, talking and not driving.
Okay, well, what do you think? People are just letting everybody out.
I had a really good time. I enjoyed the tournaments. I enjoyed the playing. DreamHack was exceptional this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that it was still top tier. It was just, I think last year's felt like more active. But you said this year you felt like it was more active.
Well, this year I felt like it was way more active as far as participation from the crowd and the EDM music from, well, not the last band.
Oh man, that one band, that was funny.
Yeah. But it had a really good, like, vibrant feel this year. However, this year they went back to the way they did it the first year and put the BYOC, which is bring your own computer, way in a corner at the very end.
Maybe that was the problem.
Yeah.
It's like last year we were kind of
right in the middle.
Yeah,
so we were surrounded by, the Halo tournaments, Fortnite tournaments, Smite, League of Legends tournaments. We had full visibility from that. And I feel like they really should have kept it that way.
Yeah, I think that was my biggest thing, is that everything that you would want to see if you were coming somewhere like DreamHack, you would have had to be on the way other side where BYOC was not located. Like, his food court was there, the big tournaments were on the other side, and it wasn't like it's a long walk, but when you're like playing a game and you want to like just see what else is going on around you, last year's was a little bit better because you had that visibility.
Speaking of visibility, where we were last year, it was really difficult to steal people's stuff because the walls were low and you still had to, this year you had to scan in.
Yeah.
But they didn't really put a lot of emphasis on scanning your stuff out. Like, they seemed to have...
That was toward the, last day. Like, today, they were very much so, hey, we're going to scan everything and make sure it's good. But at that point, if you're stealing something, you've already stolen it. It wouldn't have been like, hey, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Okay, taking it now.
But in all fairness, none of our stuff was even touched.
Yeah, that was the best part. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the good thing about DreamHack. Like, for Dragon Con, I feel like if you leave anything just sitting for more than a second, it's going to be taken. It's just... There's too many people, you can't keep up with it.
Off of you.
Right. But like at DreamHack, I think it's such a camaraderie, which I think is the best part of DreamHack, is everybody kind of knows, like, hey, it's not cool to take other people's stuff. We're all here to be gamers. Don't be a jackass.
Another interesting thing, just talking about the, can't think of the word, but the surface level differences, people don't smell at DreamHack.
Yeah.
The air is on because
that one guy.
Except that one guy who unfortunately was beside Becky. He this guy kept his suitcase beside him because, like I said, people don't touch your stuff.
Right.
So DreamHack usually provides a sleeping area for people who are BYOC because it's 24 hours if you pay to bring your own computer. And everyone else leaves, I think, at midnight or 1.
Everybody else has to actually leave by 8.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, unless you're going to a concert or you've I think you might be right, actually, because I think if you're an expo person, you have to leave by 8. If you're there for the day pass, it's midnight. Mm-hmm. But yeah, because concerts are late, so it doesn't make sense that people would have to leave.
Yeah, notice the concerts ended at midnight.
Yeah,
and
but you had to get the hell out of there.
But there's still so many people left because of the BYOC.
Right.
But yeah, this guy had his suitcase and it was open and it smelled just
like death.
It literally smelled
It
like
was
that.
bad. I was like, I think he's got dead kittens in there because.
Oh my god!
And it was wide open, and he never moved his stuff.
Yeah, it was.
It encroached, but
I mean, we're not. This is all of our like, hey, these are just little complainy things, but
yeah, I mean, like I said, this is surface level, like aesthetically.
right.
Because honestly, there's not a lot of fault you can find with DreamHack. If you ever get a chance to go to one, you truly, truly should. Yes,
Yes.
it's expensive.
Yes.
But if you are a gamer and you are remotely interested in esports, you have to go.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that you have to go to and see what it's like and enjoy it, because it's one of those things where if you don't experience it, it's hard to explain it. Like, I can say, hey, it's a big gaming festival where you go play video games and it's all these esports tournaments. People kind of think, what the well, I mean, why would you go to that? But when you get there, it's the atmosphere. It's really much more atmospheric than just the idea of what you're thinking it could be, because there's like everything going on. There's tournaments going on. You can stand in the middle of it and just look around and see everything going on.
Okay, Becky, so I'm going to walk us through the DreamHack floor.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about it. So, coming out of the BYOC, the first thing is the IRL gaming, which think Blitzball from Final Fantasy X, and you'll have an idea of what this is. It's 2 teams of 5 people, I think. Or
It looked like 5
7
to 6 people.
Yeah. So you have a goalie, and 3 on each end. So it's like dodgeball meets soccer meets rugby.
Yeah.
Without the attacking and stuff from rugby, but it was pretty cool.
It was. Thank you, GPS. Anyways, it was cool to see. It was one of those things where, like, you could see where it could get violent, I think. But the way it played is that the frisbees would light up when it was scored into a goal for somebody else, and then it would, like, go back and forth. So you were basically throwing frisbees. But honestly, to me, it reminded me of the movie. What's that movie?
But they were like foam frisbees.
Yeah, what is that movie with that came out? That was a remake, and it had
Tron.
Tron. Yeah, it reminded me of Tron.
Except not a race.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was dodgeball with
dodgeball with like frisbees.
scoring. So then, if you continue down past the IRL gaming, you came across what we did for the first time: True Dungeon.
True Dungeon. I finally got to do it. It was a demo. Just to be clear, we didn't get to do like the full True Dungeon thing, but it was a demo of what True Dungeon is. And let me tell you something. Mentally, maybe not the best at escape rooms. Physically and with dexterity wise, hey, we real good.
So you entered in, and they walked you through how it works. You have tokens.
Yeah.
Which consist of, what's on your body, which we didn't have any because we'd never done a True Dungeon. So keep in mind, when you earn these tokens, you keep them, and you can use them from True Dungeon to True Dungeon. They travel all over the world with this.
Yeah.
So Becky's trying to merge over, so I'm going to talk a bit. So then once you get through that level, you go into a quick training where if you're a wizard, you have to memorize wizard.
Like
stuff,
little
the
patterns,
planes
like
stuff.
the planes, but it's in a pattern.
If you're a cleric, you have to memorize spell beads, and if you are a druid, you have to memorize leaves. And if you are a thief, you have to be sure you can do something like not touch the edge of a box.
It was like Operation.
It was, yeah.
There's a little box with like a little and it doesn't buzz or anything like that, like Operation.
It just turns red,
Yeah.
so you failed. And what this is, so if I say I'm going to cast a heal, I'm going to heal for 5. Or if I can remember the prayer bead that goes with it, I can heal for 8.
Yeah.
Becky was a wizard, so if she remembered the plane she needed to cast a spell, she would do like critical damage, which is how we defeated a Valkyrie. But anyway, so we learned our stuff. We were with 3 dudes.
Who were very nice.
Yeah, they were very nice dudes. And we go to the first room, and so we had a monk, a ranger,
A rogue.
I was a cleric, you were a wizard, and then we had a rogue.
It was actually a pretty like squishy team if we were really playing D&D.
Oh, well, the monk would have been.
The monk would have been our glass
Yeah.
cannon, yeah.
Well, so we go to this astral room, and you have to turn these lanterns on in a sequence, which we failed to do. And here's the thing that they were saying about the True Dungeon is if you fail in a combat room or fail a thing, you take damage, which he didn't give us damage, so...
Yeah.
But it was a demo.
Hey, I did take some damage. I did take 5 points of damage.
From the Valkyrie, I'm talking about failing the puzzle room.
Oh, yeah, the puzzle part was, yeah. Yeah, you're supposed to take damage as your punishment.
So the next room we went into, so it's like escape rooms, like Becky said, where you have to figure some stuff out. And then there's combat rooms where you fight something and it's like shuffleboard, where you slide the things down to do your damage. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was curious wanting to see how exactly they would do like combat scenarios for D&D, because it's not like regular D&D where you roll a dice and you see what happens. In this scenario, what you basically have to do is like use a shuffleboard or memorize something to show denote how you've done damage or done anything. So the fact that there was it was more interactive than, because I was picturing kind of a LARP where you kind of like throw like a beanbag and it's like, I hit you. You know what I mean? Like, I hit you.
And when I saw the red things, I thought that they would be filled with stuff like that, but no, they were filled with the tokens, which you could take in and is your armor and equipment, and also like amulets and stuff, things that help you. Oh, this is scary looking.
No, it's that random road to take us.
Okay.
There, so we're doing the right.
So that's one side of the room. That's like BYOC, IRL Gaming, True Dungeon. They had all of that lined up together. You went into the tabletop magic. There was dice there, and Wormwood was there. But there were a lot of pretty good magic tournaments.
Oh yeah, there was Commander League going. You paid $40 just to play Commander all weekend. That was pretty good.
Right, it was $40 for every tournament.
Yeah.
All weekend, and these are like tournaments to win cards, money, like good prizes.
Yeah.
And you earned a table mat, a play mat.
Yeah, some of the tournaments, if you came in first, you got a play mat. But there were the big tournaments for Magic there, and it wasn't just like Commander and like paper format. Mm-hmm. MTG Arena was there. So if you were a BYOC person, you didn't have to necessarily leave your tabletop port, or you didn't have to leave your computer. You could play in the Magic tournaments and be on a completely different place than where the normal Magic tournament would have been.
Right. So if you came out of the BYOC area and went down the far side of the wall from the check-in, it was where all the major tournaments were being played. There was Fortnite, Smite, Paladin, Halo, CSGO. There was a League of Legends collegiate tournament. Gosh, there was so much. I'm forgetting it.
There was Brawlhalla. Smash had a huge tournament, and all different variations of any sort of fighting game.
I forgot that Games Done Quick was right outside of the BYOC area.
Awesome. There was Games Done Quick just right next to us, where if you were I almost said speed racer, but a speed gamer, you were literally right in the tournament right there, and there was a lot of them going. Actually, I was looking at the schedule for this tonight, and Games Done Quick is going until midnight tonight. So it's pretty legit.
And the record takers were there, so you could show up. Buying a pass to DreamHack gets you. It's like free. It's like buying entry into all of these tournaments.
Right. Especially if you're BYOC, you could enter any tournament you wanted to. It didn't matter if you never played a game, or if you were a competitive challenger player for that tournament. Anybody could enter. I mean, Angie was somehow entered into the Rocket League tournament. She still can't figure out how that happened.
Yeah, I must have clicked when I should have clacked.
Wait, I just want to interject. What if there had been a competitive Stardew Valley? Would you have wanted to do it?
No, not at all.
Okay, never mind.
Farming takes too much time, and I can't be stressed. I have to pet every animal every day. They all 5-star love me. We're not fucking with that.
That's true. Angie, at one point, we did switch to Stardew Valley. In a shocking turn of events, we majority played League of Legends or TFT. But for the one part where we actually just played Stardew, I was like, hey, you want to go get food? I looked over, Angie's eyes were 3 times her face. She's like, I can't, if I don't stop, I'll never stop. I just will never stop. I just will keep going. It was really funny.
Some of the other things that were there was Atlanta apparently has a horror movie studio called Fear House.
Yeah.
So they were there running 15-minute trailers for their movies and stuff. And there was a 3D, AT&T sponsored a 3D picture printing for, it was use your imagination, create your own universe. So they took a 3D picture of you in a setting.
It was a 360 picture, or 360,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
360, yeah. 360.
So that was pretty cool. And speaking of stuff like that, there's all sorts of indie gamers there, people who are trying to build games, and you can play test them, give your feedback.
And there were student games there, so people who were in college or high school who were testing out games to get feedback were also there. So it really is nice because it doesn't just go to the big studios like Blizzard or Riot or Hi-Rez, which is the one who kind of sponsors DreamHack. But the little indie gamers and the student gamers are there to get their name out there too, because there is a whole thing where you can like pitch a game and possibly win money to have that game sponsored or made.
You know, I just realized the one that's been there every single year wasn't there, that H1N1 or H1N2.
Yeah.
That was strange. They are there every single year. They are one of the starters of DreamHack. But
well, and I think the problem is that H1N1 isn't as popular as it used to be. So I'm wondering if they can do the sponsorships or if they're just picking certain ones, because Hi-Rez Studio is such a predominant thing in Atlanta. It is the Atlanta like gaming studio. So I'm wondering if Hi-Rez kind of has like a monopoly a little bit on certain games.
I forgot to mention there were PUBG tournaments as well. But
yeah.
There was also a tournament that you really needed no skill to participate in. It was a rock, paper, scissors tournament.
Yes.
We are talking about rock, paper, scissors with your hands.
I kind of wish we had been able to do it. It was started at 9 o'clock on Saturday, and I can tell you we stayed up pretty late on Friday, and I ain't about that life of getting up early just to get over to play rock, paper, scissors. But you could win some legit money playing rock, paper, scissors.
It was still going when we left. They were down to the finals, and like these people were made a huge deal out of, treated like, you know, motherfucking rock stars.
I know. Like, out of all the people, like, we could see, like, corners where, like, collegiate teams were getting pictures taken with their little trophies. It was cute. But, man, if you won the rock, paper, scissors tournament at DreamHack, you were on the stage.
Oh, yeah, panties were being thrown at you.
You got, like, banners. You had, like, all these people taking your picture. I was like, Jesus Christ, that's what we need to do.
And there was a huge cosplay contest. So if you're a cosplayer, check DreamHack out, because this is a cosplay contest that actually gives you real money. I know Dragon Con gives you dragon bucks, but this was real legit money.
And this year, I feel like the cosplay was a lot bigger. The past couple of years, I think people didn't really realize that DreamHack did a cosplay portion, mostly because it's gaming and you kind of think eSports and gaming, but there's a whole cosplay thing for DreamHack. So if you want to enter into a smaller tournament, maybe before you get into like a big professional tournament, DreamHack is a great place to go, and I think let's try it out.
No, it really is. Just test your costume, get some feedback, because there's not a whole lot. It's not like hundreds of cosplayers. We saw maybe 20 legit cosplayers, and they were all doing Dota characters, but they looked amazing.
There were some legit costumes. It wasn't like your run-of-the-mill, you know, I went and bought something at Joann's and kind of like, or not at Joann's, but went to Party City and bought a costume. It was legit costumes.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
So, and under the BYOC header, there, like Becky said, they ran a lot of tournaments that you're entered in, and one of the ones we participated in was a TFT tournament.
Yeah.
And if you listen to the beginning of the podcast, you heard our interview with Behchu, who Becky ended up losing to.
I'm okay with losing to him because he was he was legitimately good. It wasn't like somebody who kind of just, you know, dumpstered his way into winning. He knew what he was doing. So you can't, and especially being somebody who's like trying to really get into the scene and be competitive, if you lose to somebody like that when you're not really like that, you can't really be mad about it.
I learned a lot just watching it. I ended up, from what I calculated, I would have come in third, and they only took the top 2 from each group, because there were 4 groups of 8. The top 2 from each group made a set of 8. So we really appreciate those guys, Nicholas and Merzacco. Sorry, the other admin who ran it. But yeah, you can join the Discord for DreamHack all around the world and just keep track of it.
Yeah, and especially like if you're interested in going to any of the events, they have everything listed through Discord. So it's not like the big tournaments. TFT was actually a pretty small tournament in consideration for the other tournaments that were going on, but for all fairness, they still ran a tournament. It wasn't like... Right,
that puts into perspective that no matter what game you play, it's probably at DreamHack, as a tournament, you could win money.
Yeah, I kind of, and you know, they're used to, I don't know, because we didn't really visit the tabletop portion, but they have Catan tournaments. So I'm wondering if they had like the big tabletop tournaments too.
They probably did. I saw some tournaments going on. I don't know what they were, but it did look like some sort of RPG. It looked like Adventure League was there, but I'm not certain.
Yeah, I that's the one thing I kind of wish was kind of prevalent there, was also D&D. They had some dice and they had the true dungeon experience there, but there wasn't really what seemed to be like a D&D adventure league like you see at maybe Dragon Con. But that might just be because tabletop gaming isn't as prevalent at DreamHack as it is in like Dragon Con.
Right, it really is promoting esports, with E being electronic sports. So we did run into a lot of teams. I was surprised to see a U.S. Army esports team.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
We spoke with the recruiter, and he was saying that it's just a great way to keep in touch with civilization, I guess. But
keep in touch with these kids. You don't want to. Everybody kind of has that grizzled, like old war veteran look for the army and any sort of military. So what they were saying is that they're trying to like reach out to kids and be like, you can have a career in the military, but look what else you can do. It's not just the military.
And he was quick to say, no, Uncle Sam does not buy them their equipment and stuff. It is something that's budgeted for them by the recruiting station. They're a team of 18 people, and they travel all over. He said they flew in a guy from Korea to play in an Overwatch tournament. Oh, right. Overwatch is huge at DreamHack.
Oh, yeah. We just always forget about Overwatch because it's like one of those things where we don't play it. But, yeah, Overwatch was there as well.
Which is funny because I didn't really see Overwatch on any of the main screens. I'm sure it was, but I didn't see it.
There's been a lot of contention with Overwatch because there's this idea that it's just unwatchable. Funny, Overwatch.
No, it totally is.
It is
you could have a stroke trying to watch Overwatch.
Yeah, and it's like, it's one of those things where unless maybe you're really into it and know what's going on, you can't really follow it like you can maybe League of Legends because it's more map-based.
It's not really a tower defense, and it's not slow-paced like PUBG or even Fortnite where there's a lot of running and picking shit up and preparing for a fight. It's just absolute chaos.
Yeah, I think, and a lot of that is also, you see a lot of shooters, you see a lot of different things, but you have to have a watchable sport. But the good news is because of that, I think if they can't highlight it, what they do is they have the smaller tournaments for it. So I'm sure there was a Overwatch tournament there for a smaller venue. It just wasn't, as big as the ones that would be on the big screen.
And to put in perspective, if you do the BYOC, you're put in an area where a lot of esports teams are. We had esports teams all around us participating, people coming in and cheering them on, and there was some people looking around. They came up to Becky and were like, are you Valkyrie in the TFT tournament? Just checking out who everyone was. So, but there was esports team in front of us, 2 esports teams behind us. Behchu was like 2 tables behind. Yeah. You would be surprised at the people you sit around, and they're still your rock stars at DreamHack. So DreamHack in Canada, I think it was Montreal, you had like Toast and Janet went to that one.
Yeah. But, this one, but they had, Myth was there for Fortnite, and there was a lot of bigger streamers that were here for the Atlanta tournaments.
I swear I thought I saw Ninja, which I'm not a Ninja fan, but for just a moment I was like, oh my god, is that Ninja? So I gotta go scope out and see if he was actually there. Because remember the blue-haired guy said was like, is that your friend?
Oh, yeah.
Becky had a moment.
No, we don't need to talk about it. Hey, we're almost to our destination, though.
Yeah, well, it'd be a good time to wrap up. It's turned into really promoting DreamHack, which was unintentional, but here's the thing. As I told Becky, I don't like going to conventions, but I like being at conventions.
And the thing is, we're promoting it in the sense, like, if we told you what we did, most of the time we either ate, we slept, we played League of Legends. That's really what we did.
Well, also, here's the thing, too. If you're worried about crowds and being in a safe environment, there is a huge security checkpoint. Everything is checked. They have to see the bottoms of your bags. You can't even bring a drink inside a cup, and it's not because they want you to buy stuff there. Because Wild Bill's is there. You get free refills if you buy a cup from them.
Yeah, shout out to Wild Bill's for having the delicious sodas.
But you also, I forgot what I was saying, but yeah, they thoroughly check. They won't let people with fake guns come in. Even like foam guns are not allowed in. Some guy tried to get in with painted airsoft guns, and that was a huge no-no. Security will take you out, and I think that's a combination of DreamHack and the Georgia World Congress Center. Yeah. So, but we really do appreciate y'all trying to keep us safe. Also, they kept any sort of gun out because of this recent school shooting that happened on, I think, Thursday.
Yeah, and plus we also have the shooting that happened at that one tournament last year. So, it's really good to have the security. I complain about how it is and all that at the very beginning, but otherwise, Wasn't that bad. So,
All right. Well, we are here to eat our food. So thank you all for joining us. Bye.
Bye. Oh, that part.
Thank